Welcome to lecture 6. In today's lecture, we'll continue our discussion on assembly line. Assembly line, by definition, is a manufacturing process in which interchangeable parts are added to a product in a sequential manner to create an end product. What we are trying to say is that, what we mean is that an assembly plant or an assembly line company is that company that puts together different components of a product for it to come up with a final good. An example we can give is a manufacturing of a vehicle or an assembling plant for vehicles, okay, where parts of the vehicles come, then they put them together to form that product. So a company can just be formed to be able to just assemble these components to create a product. Now, in most cases, a manufacturing assembly line is a semi-automated system through which a product moves. Okay, at each station along the line, some part of the product process takes place. Okay, now the workers and the machinery used to produce the item are stationary along the line, and products move through a circle from start to finish. Here we're talking about a system through which products are moving for them to be able. There is actually a system to which these things are assembled. Now, it can either be a manual where people are the ones that are assembling it, or it can be a system, a computer, or a machinery that has been created to assemble those parts together. Okay, now we can, when you just look at, I would actually urge you to search for, uh, assembling of or vehicle assembling plant. Okay, you Google it, then you watch a video, you just see how it is done. Okay, you will see that there are certain parts or there are certain machines that actually carry different parts, different components that add them together to form a product. Now, assembly line methods were originally introduced to increase factory productivity and efficiency. Now, using a system is more efficient than using, people. Okay, than using the manual system where people are the ones that are what. So, this system started a long time ago in the 20th century. Okay, where advanced system have regularly actually been used, to achieve the output, okay, to increase the products of goods and services. Now, every company loves it when they can have a system that can produce more output than they expect, or than they, or to reach their target, in short. Okay, now business experts have also known to apply these principles to other areas of business, from product development to management. Okay, now the introduction of assembly line to American manufacturing flows in the early part of the 20th century, like I indicated. Okay, and the characters in this, in that since the 20th century, most of the companies have actually, manufacturing companies have witnessed uh, a shortened period in terms of the production cycle. Okay, equipment costs have accelerated, as well as the labor management has what also changed. Okay, now manufacturing methods has also become highly refined process in which value is added to parts along the line. Okay, now increasingly assembly line manufacturing is characterized by concurrent processing. Okay, process. Okay, so we're talking about multiple parallel activities that are joined together or that feed into a final assembling stage. Okay, now this process requires sophisticated communication system. Now, we all know that most of these companies that undertake huge roles, or that take very broad or big process, require a complex, or they've got a complex system in which these things are, are passing through for them to be able to reach the final stage. Okay, meaning that a system has got different components that add, that feed into the actual component. Now, we are saying that for them to run smoothly, all these components coordinate together. Okay, all these components coordinate together. Okay, now as they coordinate together, their aim is to reach the actual or the final destination, which is the target. Okay, now there are variations in the assembly line methodology. Now, by definition, a methodology is an inquiry, okay, an investigation, a principle of investigation. When you talk about the principle of investigation, we are talking about starting, using a unique strategy for your business to manufacture your product. Now, because of the method that is actually used, there is what we call uniqueness in everybody's business. Okay, and that uniqueness actually result in variations in products and services. For instance, today I can be given everything, or you can be given to run a company that will be producing maybe that will be producing cream donuts, okay, and the other one has been given a company to produce cream donuts. I can assure you, even with same material, okay, or just with the same amount of capital, at the end of the day, the two people that are given that capital will have different products. Their products will be different. Okay, they will not be exactly the same. Okay, why? Because people have got different trainings, people have got different methodologies to which they produce. Okay, that creates what we call a uniqueness in the product. Now, of course, different methodologies are affected by so many factors, and among other factors that infringe on the business methodology includes capital limitation. Okay, capital limitation. A business that has got huge capital cannot be compared to a business that has got limited capital or that has got little capital. Okay, now, for introducing or improving assembly line product methods while change in international competition, okay, operating regularly and availability of material can all influence the line picture of entire industry. So, of course, we are so talking about availability of raw materials, the type of raw materials you are using. You can also talk about the the political state of the of this of the place and other things. They actually influence the methodologies of the company. Now, following a brief description of assembly line methods that are currently enjoying some degree of popularity in the manufacturing world, we can therefore look at the assembling types of assembling, okay, that we have. The first assembling method that we have, okay, is the modular assembly. Now, this is an advanced system method that is designed to improve throughput by increasing the efficiency parallel sub-assembly line feeding into the final assembly system. Okay, now this system was saying that it has got different components that feed into the overall bigger picture or a bigger system. Now, this system, one example that can help you understand this is uh, the vehicles, okay, the automobiles. This system is actually more used, highly used in automobiles. Now, automobiles, what we are talking about, what we are indicating here is that automobiles are vehicle manufacturing companies. So you'll find that the chassis is developed by somebody else, the interior is developed by somebody else, the body is developed by somebody else. Okay. Now, when they come together to one company, that company puts it together, it joins it together. Okay, it joins it together. Now, as it joins it together, uh, it joins it together to create an end product. It creates a final product. Okay, so that's what we call a modular assembly. Okay, so this is an advanced system where methods are designed to improve the what? The output of the company by adding different components together for an end product. An example is automobiles. Okay, so in a test, you need to be able to give this description and be able to give the examples. Now, the second one is a cell manufacturing. Now, this production method has evolved out of increased ability of machines to perform multiple tasks. Now, here we're talking about a machine that can perform multiple tasks. Okay, now cell operators can handle 3 or 4 tasks, and robots are used for such operations as material handling and welding. Okay, now cells of machines can be run by one operator or multiple person work cell. In these machines, in these machine cells, it is possible to link older machines with new ones, thus reducing the amount of investment required for new machinery. Now, let's look at the team production. Now, team production system, we're talking about it is team oriented. For instance, you take a certain number of people to work on one product. Okay, you give a defined number of people to work on a product. Now, that product that they are working on has got, they are doing the same task repetitive, like they are repeating the same task over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, now, as that is being done, the team approach has been held by supporters as one that creates greater work involvement in the manufacturing process and knowledge of the system. Okay, so you can think of an activity or work where people are doing the same thing over and over. One example I can give is the beads production. So, for instance, they are producing beads, and beads are falling into one bucket. Okay, once this machine creates those beads, and those beads are cut and they are being thrown into, they are dropping into one, basin. Now, workers are put together surrounding that basin, removing beads, those that are damaged, they are removing them, okay, to create damages. So that is an example that I can give about the team production method. Okay, now the U-shaped assembly line, it is another method. Now, at this method, um, we are saying that a line may not be the most efficient shape in which to organize an assembly line. On a U-shaped line or cave, workers are collected on the inside of the cave, and communication is easier than along the length of the straight line. Now, an assembler can see each process, what is coming and how fast, and one person can perform multiple operations. Okay, so here we're talking about removing one person from the other. They are actually in charge of the operation. They are doing the operation, but one person can be able to perform multiple operations within a particular set of workspace. Okay, also workstation along the line are able to produce multiple product designs simultaneously, making the facility as a whole more flexible. Now, changeover are easier in the U-shaped line, as well as with the better communication between workers. Across training is also simplified. Okay, across training meaning that one is able to learn from the other. Why? Because these people are put in a shape where they can be able to interact and get what the other person is doing. Now, these are types of companies, these are type of systems or methods that you can employ as operations manager. Now, it may not be easily understood, but I would want you to actually go through and learn, use some YouTube videos, just learn, just let it flow, be able to understand it in practical sense. Okay, now the benefit of U-shaped line have served to increase their use widely. Okay, now as new assembly line methods are introduced into manufacturing process, business managers look at the techniques for possible application to other areas of business. Now, one common system that is normally used is called the Joint Application Development, which is the JAD. Now, this Joint Application Development System is a system that is designed to, it is a computer-based system, okay, that is used in these companies to produce goods. Okay, it brings together those working in business areas and those working in the information technology area into a single workshop. Now, these they are putting a system that is able to generate different output. Okay. Now, the advantage of a JAD include dramatic shortening of the time it takes to complete a project. Now, as you may know, any company any company's target is to reduce the time at which a product will be produced. Okay, if you can produce 10 boxes within one day, I mean, if you can produce 50 boxes within one day, okay, and another person is able to produce 100 boxes, or another system is able to produce 100 boxes in a day, okay, most companies would actually go for a system that is able to produce 100 boxes in a day. Why? Because it is efficient and the time or the period used is shortened. Okay, now the JAD process does not it is the system. This is one of the systems that was used by a well-renowned CEO, Henry Ford. Okay, the man behind the Ford vehicle. Okay, that we see now. That Ford that we see, we are saying that he used that system. He used this type of a system for him to come up with that. Now, a method of this method, it helps to organize machinery, material, and labor, okay, so that the car could be put together much faster and cheaper than ever before. Okay. Now, in a similar way, the fundamentals of assembly line theory have been applied to business process with success. These new methods of organizing work all share the common goal of improving throughput by reducing the amount of time individual workers and their machines spend on specific tasks. Now, by reducing the amount of time required to produce an item, assembly line methods have made it possible to produce more with less. Remember, as we close, every company needs to put in strategies or methods that will be able to reduce the amount of time that is spent on producing, you know, a product. So it is not only the amount of time, we are also looking at the cost, okay, but those will be looked at a different level. For now, we are looking at a method. You as an operations manager being capable of putting in place a system, okay, putting in place a system that is efficient in the sense that it will reduce the amount of time, uh, 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 or it will help you also beat competition. When you beat competition, your company, your business is going to flourish. Okay. I will see you in the next session of lecture 7. For now, it's goodbye.